It's a good song.
I love that song.
Oh, it's
It
great.
really is. I like that song a lot.
It's so epic.
I know.
It is.
I know.
Honestly, I'm like, dude, it's epic. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know. There's
It's grand and
playing that song live is just like I
Oh my
wish I could
God,
describe
so
to you the
long.
feeling of like actually doing this stuff live. It's really hard to. If you're not a musician, it's hard to kind of explain what it's. I mean, you have an idea.
Oh yeah.
But like to be playing a song like that actually, actually gets to you. You're like, yeah, I really dig this, and then like to be reinforced by like all these people out there going nuts. It's weird.
That's gonna be a great feeling.
It is. The strange thing about it is it makes everything seem slow. So like these songs that seem really fast in rehearsal, like the Gears or Death Support, some of the really fast stuff. We'll do it in rehearsal. It's like, oh man, this is hard. My hands are getting tired and all that. And then we get on stage and the adrenaline's there. And we're like, it just seems so slow.
The adrenaline is running.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes
all the energy
everything
coming
seem
up from
slower.
the pit.
Yeah, and you
It's
just
like
have to.
it just feeds.
And you know that the tempo hasn't changed because it's a click. Because Gene's playing with clicks, so you're just like, all right, relax. Okay, well, there's one that I have to do, even though you didn't mention it.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's my birthday.
In death clock tuning, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So,
I don't know when you guys going to tour again. Don't know.
I think next fall.
Maybe I'll get
Because
to go.
it's got to be TV season, then record, then tour. And TV season, as you know, is being done now.
Yeah.
So, and what was the first airing date?
April 15th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right now.
and what Brendan's thing is that like he's not going to make a record and make the TV season at the same time anymore because it's just like it's too
Well,
much.
that's killer,
It's-
yeah.
I can
it killed him.
imagine.
He did that. He did that for the second season and the second Death Album 2, and it almost killed him. So,
Yeah.
so it's going to be separate, and it'll be after that, and everything works out. It doesn't take long to record these records actually. Then it'll be done in the late spring, but then like a major media powerhouse like Turner, a real like
Yeah.
serious major media promotion needs 3 months to gear up. So then by then it'll be the fall, and you're not going to want to put it out in August anyway.
No.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be next fall, but I mean like I don't know, there's no guarantee.
Well, the thing is, in the meantime, we're doing enough to keep the name out there.
Yeah.
We've got you headlining Mayhem.
was
That had to be
hilarious.
awesome.
Well, you know what? It wasn't as awesome for me because, and this is kind of inside baseball, but when we went out there, first of all, we were last, and on a festival day, that's not necessarily the best slot because people are tired. They've been abused all day long. We went on after who were the 3 bands that were on before us? Machine Head, Godsmack, and Disturbed. And those are all heavy bands. And that was after all day with the double stages in the sun. You wouldn't believe how hot it was there. So we went on, people were a little drained, and not everybody was there. Like the most people were there for the second and third main stage bands. And then after that, we saw a good few thousand people leave. I mean, out of 30,000. So then we played, and then when I went on stage, my monitors were completely off. Like, we spent hours doing production rehearsal on the stage, and because it's a festival, everything has to be chop chop,
Right.
And there was a hard curfew. We were going on last. Anyway, I got out there, and you see this thing I have right here. This is like so I can hear the music coming back at me. I have a version of this for the band because the stage is huge, and the sound system is gigantic. And when you're standing here and the PA speakers are going out there, what you hear is like. So you need monitors so that you can hear the band while you're on stage. And it takes a while to actually get that right. It's like tweaking your car
I
stereo.
dated a musician. I know this. I mean, it was a lot smaller scale,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
same idea.
So, make a long story short, when I came out, it's a lot of times you do it and then you come out and it doesn't sound the same way that it did in your sound check and you got to make a couple tweaks. I came out and it sounded completely different and awful, and I'm I can't stop playing, and you got to be up there and be like, but I'm thinking to myself, as soon as I hit the first note of like playing Death, okay, I can't hear anything, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, what do I ask for? What do I ask the monitor engineer for? Because I can't hear anything. How did it get so bad? So then we get into the second song, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Finally, I just kind of leaned down toward the monitor, and I realized that nothing was coming out of there. So side stage is far away. So I'm playing now. I'm playing Bloodlines, and I'm like, I'm walking over there and going to the guys. I'm like, I can't. The fucking monitor's off. I'm screaming because like it's so loud on stage, I'm screaming at him like, there's fucking nothing coming out of there. There's nothing coming out of there. So now, you saw people start scrambling, I see the people over by the monitor engineer desk on side stage. I see them like, it looks like, one of those cartoons where someone deeps into the tool chest and you see them like doing this and like wires are flying. It really looked like that. So then like third song, I still can't hear anything. I'm like, is this whole show going to be like this? I mean, I hope I'm playing right. I hope it sounds good because I don't know. And then I hear him come back on, and then off, and then off. Like it was coming in intermittently, like all the stuff, guitars and bass and drums on. And so then I look over, and again, there's just people over there just throwing cables around. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I finally in the fourth song, it came back up. But there were no kick drums. So I had everything but the most important thing, which is supposed to come from the side fill. So then I had to run over there and be like, I need more kick drum, and they turned it up a little bit. And the fifth song, they turned it up a little bit. After the fifth song, I'm like, turn it up so it fucking kills me. And they're always like afraid to make a move that they're going to hurt you, but obviously something got really weirded out with the gain structure, and what they thought was a significant move wasn't. So then finally they turned it back up, and it wasn't pretty, but at least I could hear kind of everything.
Yeah.
That was half the show.
Well, I was sitting in the second row, and I knew enough that I could see what was going on and I knew what was happening. If you haven't been to Dethkon when they're performing live, the band is in the dark. And everything is the screen above them, behind them. And that's about all the light they've got to work with, including the poor guys sitting on the side trying to make all this work.
We can see up there. It's lighter than you think.
It looks pretty dark.
It looks dark from where you are because there's light around us.
Yeah.
But when we're on stage, we get the light from the LCD screen, and it's actually pretty significant.
I was going to say, some of those stages I've been on have been really dark once things get going, and all the light seems to be coming in at you.
Mm-hmm.
So the shadows seem to fall exactly where you need to be looking.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you could tell from where you were standing, but I mean, that was as hellish as I've ever had a set go in terms of monitors. That was like the worst one I probably ever had. One of the worst ones anyway. Which kind of bummed me out, you know. Spent half the set trying to scream at people, trying to be like, "Hey!"
It's not like they did it on purpose to you.
Oh, I know, but
it
you
takes so much away from the show. The energy, it just doesn't.
Well, yeah, especially if you can't hear anything. You don't know.
Yeah.
What's
So,
going on.
but I was out there trying to, you know, do all my usual things and not let it, you know. I mean,
Sitting in the audience, you couldn't tell there was something wrong unless you had either seen Dethkon or you were experienced enough to
unless you
realize that the
yeah.
bass player isn't usually sitting there with his ear next to the monitor.
yeah, it was brutal. I had to do all this troubleshooting myself, and it was not fun. So, I mean, Mayhem was great, but you know, the House of Blues show was way more fun.
Well, the House of Blues show was awesome. Now, Mayhem, the pit for Mayhem was probably 70 rows deep. There was probably 2,000 people in the pit. The House of Blues show, I was actually closer to Bryan at House of Blues than I am right now.
Yeah. Capacity House of Blues is like 1,500 tops.
I don't know, but I was up against the rail.
Yeah. No, I saw you guys there, and that was fun. And that was great because, I don't know if you heard about this show, but we weren't playing a Dethkon show.
Yeah.
Because there was no video. It's the only time we've ever done it. And we were just up, and there was full lights on us because it was a benefit, and we didn't advertise because frankly, because we can't advertise. We're not allowed to play as Dethkon unless Turner approves it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's a big production that goes along with it because
I guess they
Turner,
own the name.
they own half of it.
Yeah.
They own half of it. So we couldn't play as Dethkon, but Steve, I, and Joe Satriani were like, you guys should really do this. And Brendan talked to the network. I'm like, listen, we're not going to advertise it. We're just going to go do it. And, you know, all the money's going to go to charity. And they were like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So we did it, and we went up there. And instead of having this big elaborate production where the DVD is running and the background tracks are on the DVD and the click goes to the drummer and all this, I put my laptop right next to me, and I ran the show. Like, just hit like I'm doing here, except not like the real songs, but like just click for the drummer and then like some keyboards and stuff that fills in the stuff, which was, so we're just up there just like talking. Brendan's like, hey, how you doing? You know, we're welcome to the Brendan Small Trio.
That's awesome.
But it was nice. It was like nice to actually hear him like be able to introduce the songs like he would at the show. Like before we played Death Support, he'd be like, "Here's a song about the medical industry," you know, and then we just played it. I mean, it was we'll probably never get to do that again.